Hey there, I'm Julie Shaler, President of Career Growth Coaching, and I want to talk to you today about how to build a career plan and get to that exec level without doubting yourself, without wasting your time, and certainly without compromising your value. And so, what we're going over is the Career Growth Coaching Program. And what this is about is giving you clarity on your best next role, confidence in how to position your skills, and a proven plan to help get you to that exact level. We will be talking about 7 simple shifts that help you clarify that next role, increase the exec position presence and positioning, and the positioning skills that help you articulate your value and your ideas so that you can get your team, your boss, or that hiring manager on the same page with you quickly. The single biggest blind spot that holds most leaders back and prevents you from being recognized and promoted in your career, and the key to defining purposeful work without having to figure it all out on your own or make a wrong career move that wastes your time and sets you back. And really, doing this all without doubt, without delay, or thinking that you should have all the answers. Like my client Wes, when we first started working together, he was a self-proclaimed frustrated technology manager because he had been stuck at the same level and position for over 3 years. Over the course of us working together, he was recognized not only by his management, but also his skip level for his leadership. And he was promoted twice in 6 months and tapped into leading a highly strategic initiative and team for Microsoft Corporation. Here's what I need from you today. Application. Know that knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. And knowledge is actually your enemy if you don't put it into action. And just like this quote is talking about here, this is kind of the premise of career growth, knowing that you can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep reading the last one. And that's what we're about to change. Because the old way of doing things, here are some key stats for you. 50% of US employees are unhappy with their current job and feeling uninspired or undermotivated. That's over half of the US workforce. Only 21% are actually paid what they believe that they deserve. And of that, 45% say that they're never or rarely paid what they deserve. 60%, well more than half of Americans want to take their career to the next level, but say that they're hindered by doing so by time. And 55% claim that work exhaustion, anxiety, fatigue, and burnout is the reason why they're not making changes in their career. And sadly, to me, the worst statistic is only 15% of people say that they're working their dream job. So 85% of Americans are doing some old dull job. And that's what I'm here to change. Here are the top 5 career pitfalls. I've been doing this work for over a decade, and these are the top 5 things that I see that set people back. The first one is what I call the wait and wonder pitfall. And that is where people kind of just keep going about their job because it's just fine or they're settling. And they kind of just stay in this place of waiting and just sort of wondering whether someone's going to notice them and help move them ahead. The second one is the I'm too busy pitfall. And this is super common at the leadership level. You are busy, but when you get into a mentality of thinking I'm too busy, I'm going to put off career growth, or I'm going to put off the next role or the networking, then all of a sudden a week becomes a month, becomes a year, and so much time has gone by just because you got trapped in the I'm too busy. The third one is what I call the imposter syndrome. And this is really based off of a mindset of not being good enough or being fearful of being compared to others and feeling like an imposter in the process. And this can definitely be something that holds people back. The fourth one is related, and that's the comparison game, where we're in this pitfall or this mindset of comparing ourselves and where we are to others. And that alone can keep us stuck where we are. And the fifth is what I call Groundhog Day. And that is essentially where you end up with every day looking and feeling like exactly like the day before, and nothing ever changes. So I definitely want to help you move past any and certainly all of these pitfalls. Because here's the truth. Our brains need a clear set of directions. Without having a vision and without having a plan, by nature, you will just stay stuck in the same place and repeat what's known because that's what the brain is seeing. And so it's super important so that you know where to go and what to do so that you can move forward. The second truth is that time is never the issue. Bad managers are never the issue. Mindset is actually the number one reason why people don't advance to the next level. And the third truth is that confidence and having that sense of certainty trump skills and education each and every time. We kind of think we need that extra certification or that extra education or the extra experience to get the job. And that's not always, and I would actually say most of the time, that's not true. And so it's about giving you the confidence and the certainty to build off of the skills and education and experience that you already have. Because if you can follow a process and a plan to get clarity on your best next career move and take action toward it, and if you can learn the skills to confidently communicate what you offer and the value that you bring as a leader, and if you can use a toolkit that helps you upgrade that mindset and your executive presence, your career growth becomes a whole lot easier. So let's dig into this. I want to talk to you about the CGC or Career Growth Coaching Program. Here's what this is all about. Number one, we want to talk about how to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The second thing is being able to uncover what I call the fulfillment code and how to really know what's going to give you fulfillment in your career. The third thing is having a clear set of criteria of knowing what your best next step should be. The fourth one is about that mindset and getting the skills and the tool set to free your mind so that you can free your career. Number 5 is having that vision, having that North Star. So you've given your brain a set of instructions of knowing where to go. And number 6 is being able to position and sell your story. Not only sell it, but know what it is and how to articulate that. And then number 7, what I fondly refer to as savoring your IPA. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about each one of these as we go forward. So that first one, the bridging the gap, what I'm talking about here and what we do in this program is help give you communication skills, because the lack of communication skill can lead to career plateau. You may be doing great work in your job, but if you don't know how to ask for what you deserve, how to communicate your value as a leader, that alone can be the reason why you would stay stuck. Second thing is the importance of this is because you may be continually that second choice candidate in the interviews if you don't know and have those communication skills. You can have excellent experience that gets you to that level, but if you have weak positioning and weak ability to communicate your worth, then you may not be the one that gets the job. Secondly, what we'll cover together is identifying what your personalized fulfillment code is. I call this money versus meaning, because a lot of people come in and they're looking for the significance, they're looking for the success, and they're using money as that benchmark. And they may get into a job that pays them a lot, and that can be great. But if it doesn't match what gives you purpose, what gives you meaning, it's going to be a job that is not going to last very long and that you maybe find yourself very frustrated with. And so what this is about is knowing what those needs, what those values are for you that enables you to not make the wrong choice and end up miserable, which is what can happen. The second thing that can happen if you don't know what fulfills you is that you'll find yourself pressed to make a major career decision without having what I call that internal compass. And that's what the fulfillment code is: clarity of what you need and clarity of what you value. That's your compass. The third piece is clarifying your criteria, and this is huge. I fondly refer this to decision-making 101, because if you don't have clear criteria for your next step, Several things might happen. The first is that you might get stuck in indecision, where you're afraid to make a choice because you don't know exactly what you want or exactly what's right for you. And so that can cause a big delay in career advancement. Or you may find yourself in the doubt yourself loop, where you think you're going to make the right decision, but you keep questioning your decisions, you keep doubting yourself. And that can cause frustration, not only for you personally, but it can create a sense of uncertainty in the interview process, and certainly for your credibility and respect if you do land that job. And third is that you definitely don't want to be in a place where you would regret a wrong choice and end up taking a detour in your career and wasting a bunch of time. We don't want any of those. And all of those can be overcome by clarifying what your criteria is for your next best role. The fourth thing that we will do together is to help you free your mind so that you can free your career. This, as I mentioned before, is the number one leadership blind spot. If you have a limited mindset as opposed to growth and you don't know what that looks like for you, this can be a huge reason why your career will plateau, because leaders they only advance to the level that they believe that they're capable of. People think that people and leaders will advance because they have all this great experience or all this great skill. That's not always true. People will plateau because they don't see and believe themselves or have that growth perspective in their mindset. The second thing that can happen on this is that you get tripped up or caught in what I call the emotional drama. This can be another reason why you may not be advancing or growing your career, because of what we would call emotional immaturity or getting stuck in the emotional drama of the politics of the corporate workplace. And the third piece that can also happen because of mindset is that we get caught in that imposter syndrome. And that is a huge reason why you may not be advancing, because you don't think that you're really showing up, or you feel like you're showing up as an imposter, which is definitely a blocker. Number 5 is figuring out what your North Star is. And this is what I refer to as having a 3 to 5 year clear professional career vision. Without having this kind of documented vision, you will be several different things may happen. The first one is that you might be what I call a leaf in the wind. And what that means is that you may be very good at what you do, and you get tapped and somebody will say, hey, you should go do this job. And so you do. And then some couple of years down the road and somebody says, oh, we'd really like you to move you into this role. And you're like, oh, okay, sure. That sounds good. And you end up kind of meandering through your career, kind of like this concept of a leaf in the wind. And you're never clearly pursuing what gives you passion, what gives you purpose, the kind of impact that you really want to give as a leader, because you don't have a clear vision. The other issue that can come up is related to what I just mentioned, and that's having a lack of purpose, a lack of passion, a lack of direction. When you don't have a vision, this is what it feels like. You feel like you're kind of purposeless. You're a little bit rudderless in your career. And the third thing is what I refer to as taking the gravel path, which is the long, slow road, versus the Autobahn of your career. And most leaders that I talk to are absolutely ready and desire to be on an Autobahn, not a gravel path. Having a career vision and a North Star can help you do that. Number 6 is how to sell your story. And this is really what it takes to seal the deal. Because by the time you're in the top level of candidates for a job, most likely your competition is going to have similar background, similar experience, similar skills, because that's what it takes to get to that level. So what's the difference maker? It's really your ability to communicate your value, what you have to offer, who you are as a leader, and what I refer to as your story. And so really knowing how to articulate, how to script and summarize who you are as a leader, that's a really huge thing that comes out of the coaching process. Secondly, is then knowing that information, how to take that and package it into your story and how to tell that story with confidence and with conviction, and really help to have the skill of creating a sense of certainty in the mind of the person that you are interviewing with. And third is knowing how to do this authentically. So, to be super clear, I am not talking about making up and selling some manufactured story about yourself. That is not what it's about. And that is not definitely what I'm about as a coach. What this is really about is just having the knowledge, having the data about yourself, what's true about you, and being able to take that and really authentically position it. And honestly, when you're coming from a place of authenticity and confidence, it's kind of like you don't even really have to sell yourself. It just shines through. And number 7 is what I refer to as the IPA. Now, I'm from the greater Seattle area and we love a good craft beer here. So I'm having a little bit of fun with this acronym. But what I'm actually talking about is intention plus action. Knowing the number one blind spot for people, which is that they'll take a lot of action and they'll do a lot of to-dos, a lot of networking, a lot of researching, a lot of applying for jobs. But the number one blind spot is that they're not aligning their intention, how they want to feel, the emotion that they're bringing into the process. Because if you are applying for a whole bunch of jobs, but honestly, if you're being honest with yourself, you're actually feeling a little doubtful, that's going to be misaligned with the outcome that you want to achieve. The second thing is what I call is the accelerator. And this is really knowing what's your why. Why do you want to get to that next level? Why does it matter? And really having a sense of an emotional resonance around why this is so important to you. Having that will not only give you the motivation and the acceleration in going through and searching for that next role, but also it will come across in the energy that you have when you talk to others. And third is what I call be smart. Now, you are probably already very familiar with setting SMART goals, being specific, measurable, achievable, results oriented, and realistic, as well as time bound. That's what we want to think about as well for actions. And so it's not just kind of doing a bunch of random stuff and then thinking, oh, well, I'm trying to search for the next role and it's not working. It's being really smart about the actions that you are setting for yourself. So if you learn to bridge the gap, find that fulfillment code for yourself, clarify what your personal criteria are for your next role, learn to free your mind and master your mindset, have that vision, that North Star, learn to position and sell your story, and of course, savor your IPA, that intention plus action. Well, you're definitely going to get to that next level of what you're seeking in your career, and you might just start singing out loud like this guy is here in the picture. And that's what we do together. So that you can move onward and upward in your career quickly and with ease so that you can get the visibility, the respect, and the acknowledgement that you deserve professionally. And ultimately, so that you can have more career impact and fulfillment in the work that you do. And that's what the Career Growth Coaching Program is all about. Really, what I want it to be is so that you end up like these examples of clients that I work with, like Jennifer, who is a VP level, and through the work that we did, got not just one, but a skip level, 2-level promotion in her career to a senior VP level. Also, like Chris, who, when we started working together, had gone for a very long dry spell of applying for jobs and not getting any interviews or certainly not any offers. And after we started working together, he ended up getting not just one, but 2 very fantastic job offers that he was thrilled with. Or my client, Rochelle, who, when we started working together, was a bit stuck and frustrated in her career. And afterwards, she sent me this email that talked about how she ended up getting not only the highest raise that she'd ever gotten in her career, but also having her manager specifically call out what a huge positive impact that she'd been making to the business. Or like my client Leave, who came in being a bit frustrated because she was in the wrong role. And through the work that we did, she ended up being in that 15%. She really stepped into and landed her dream job. And so if you can imagine, if you can get clarity on your best next step, if you can have a specific plan to advance your career to that next level, to that executive level, if you can have a confidently position yourself to ask for the salary, the promotion, and the job that you deserve, and if you could do impactful, purposeful work for the teams and the audiences that need you, while also building your financial and time freedom for the things that matter to you. Because I am all about, yes, advancing, and yes, having the right salary to support the lifestyle that you want to have, but also building the opportunity so that you have the time freedom to spend on the people and the places and the things that matter most to you. That's the fulfillment. So when we chat, please come prepared, bring your questions, and be ready to hear about how the Career Growth Program could specifically and uniquely help you with your leadership goals. Thank you.